Ready? Hey scientists, welcome back to Caleb and Luke's Mega Science Show. I'm scientist Caleb, and this is my brother, lab assistant Luke. Now today's experiment is incredibly dangerous, so you guys at home, do not try this. We are using this to just show you a really cool science experiment. Today we're going to make what's known as thermite. And what thermite is that you mix two metals, which are aluminum and iron oxide. And iron oxide is actually just rust. So you're going to mix those two together, and then it's going to make a big, very, very hot fire. And what's going to happen is when it's done, it's going to make little pieces of metal. Now, what is thermite used for? Sometimes thermite can be used in fireworks to start the explosion. It also is used in railroads when they're putting two pieces of a railroad together. They use thermite to melt the metal so that it gets together. It's going to get very hot. It can get up to about 4,000 degrees. So today, me and Luke are both going to go to the super secret safe zone just so that we both stay safe and we don't get hurt. And like I said, you guys do not try this at home. Now, before we go and set up this experiment, I'm going to ask Lab Assistant Luke if he thinks something cool is going to happen. Lab Assistant Luke, is something cool going to happen when we mix them all together?
Yes.
Okay, Lab Assistant Luke says yes. So let's just do that right now. We're going to take a container. We'll put in our aluminum powder first. So the aluminum goes right in. And then we're going to put in our iron oxide. Get it all in there. Good. Then I'm going to take my stirring rod. Luke, look, we're going to stir it. Get everything all mixed together. Get it all good. All right. So that looks good to me. Looks like we mixed it all in there. A little bit, hold on. All right. So what we're going to need next is we're going to need a fuse so that it'll burn it and give me enough time to get away from it. And what we're going to use for that is magnesium, which is another metal, which, when ignited with a flame, will burn like a fuse, like on a firework. All right, so we'll take a nice piece of that, and it comes in a ribbon, as you can see. I'm going to take some clippers. I'm going to clip us a little piece off, and then we'll put it back. Where are you going, Lab Assistant Luke? I think you deserve a piece of science cheese. Here you go, dude. Okay, so now the next part, we're going to need to be safe. So I'm going to put on my safety goggles and my fireproof gloves because it's about to get really hot. All right, so I can't really snap in these, but we need to go to our science fire pit for this experiment so that we can do it safely. So, you guys at home, I'm gonna need your help. On 3, we're gonna clap 2 times. 2 times. 1, 2, 3. All right, so before we actually do this experiment, let's explain what's gonna happen. So thermite, like I said, is made up of 2 metals. It's our aluminum and our iron oxide. So what happens is when they mix together and they get heated up, they create this very, very hot fire, about 4,000 degrees. And the aluminum is taking the oxygen from the iron oxide, so it just fuels that fire because fire needs oxygen to survive. And what would happen with a normal fire is if you cover it up with something, it would take away the oxygen and the fire would go out. But with thermite, since it's getting the oxygen from the iron oxide and not from the air, it wouldn't go out, it would keep burning. And essentially what happens is the 2 metals get so hot that they form another metal, which is a molten metal, and that's just liquid metal until it cools down, and then it becomes solid metal. So there we go. Now we actually do have to go to the safe zone because this is about to be a very dangerous experiment. Yeah, it is going to be real dangerous, Lab Assistant Luke. All right. He doesn't believe me, but it is, guys. Like I keep saying, do not try this at home. It is not safe to do. All right, so I still can't snap with my safe gloves on, so I'm gonna need to clap 3 times. On the count of 3, you guys at home can do it too. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. All right, so Luke is in our super secret safety zone, and I'm gonna go over there in just a minute, but we have to get this experiment going. So I'll move these tongs for now. All right, so like I said, thermite is gonna get to about 4,000 degrees, right around there, and that is incredibly hot. It's hot enough that it'll actually melt some metals. So we're gonna try that next, but first let's just see what thermite does when it's ignited. So put that on, the fuse is in there. All right, I'm gonna put on my gloves just for safety because I'm gonna be using fire, and fire is dangerous. So let's get our torch ready. All right, so as you can see, that was pretty cool. It made this big fireball. And what you can see here, I'm gonna take this glove off, I'm not gonna touch it, but you can see there's this piece of metal right here, this orange glowing thing, and that is the molten metal that the two combined made. And it made a little bit of molten iron from melting, and right now it's actually very hot, so we can't touch it yet. We can touch it when it gets cooled off, and that will be a little bit. So now we're going to take this out, and just like I said, you can actually melt metal. So we're going to try that. What we're going to do is we're going to take another bit of our ingredients. All right, we'll put a new pot in, and what we're going to do is we're going to mix the aluminum powder in right in there. And let's mix it together. Get it all nice and mixed up. We're gonna see if we can actually melt metal. We're gonna see. So what I did was I got a padlock. We're gonna put the padlock in there, and we're gonna cover it with the thermite. Let's see what happens. All right. Lab assistant Luke, you'll come over in just a minute. We'll cut another piece of magnesium. And put that in there. All right, let me go get lab assistant Luke from our super secret safe zone so that he can come over and check this out. And we'll ask him a couple questions before we get started. We're gonna see if we can melt metal. All right, lab assistant Luke, come on over, dude. All right. All right. Okay. So I think, lab assistant Luke, since you've done such a good job watching, you can get 2 pieces of science cheese today. Okay. So, Luke, do you think we're going to be able to melt this lock with the thermite today?
Yes.
All right, lab assistant Luke says yes. All right. Are you ready? We're going to try this out. I'm going to put on my safety gloves, and then me and lab assistant Luke are going to run over to the super secret safe zone to be safe. All right. So let's see, can thermite melt a metal lock? So once again, we're going to get the torch. All right, let's go. Oh, looks like the magnesium might have went out before it got to our thermite. So let's try that again. You know, sometimes this stuff happens in science. Nothing is ever perfect. So let's try it one more time. Covered. All right. All right, let's see if we can do it this time. Let's see. All right. Here we are, we're back. Lab assistant Luke, you get another piece of science cheese. You're doing an awesome job today. All right, let's take our tongs and see what happened. Let's see, did we successfully melt the lock? Let's see what we did. All right, so as you saw, that was a big, huge end. All right, I'm gonna bring it over. So, as you can see, this part of the lock right here is still there, the bolt, but the bottom half of the lock actually melted and it turned into liquid metal. So what we did was we were able to melt the lock, and that's just how powerful thermite is. It's actually able to melt metal. So that tells you how hot it is, because metal only melts at a very high temperature. So, like I said before, and lab assistant Luke agrees, do not try this at home. It is not safe. It is cool to watch, and you can watch more videos of it on YouTube, but do not try this at home. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, lab assistant Luke, for your help. And we will see you guys next week for some more science.